Risk factors for upper limb venous thrombosis: A. Vigorous arm exercise, B. Central venous catheter, C. Pacemaker or defibrillator leads, D. All of the above. Correct answer D. All of the above. Paget-Shorter syndrome is the spontaneous thrombosis of the deep veins of the upper limb, axillary or subclavian vein, after vigorous arm exercise. Sudden jerky movements cause the axillary vein to be crushed between the clavicle and the first rib. This can damage the intima of the vein and initiate thrombosis. Implanted central venous catheters in place for a long time can initiate upper limb venous thrombosis. In case of pacemaker and defibrillator leads, the more the number of leads, higher the risk of thrombosis. Risk of intracranial bleed for tenecteplase in acute pulmonary embolism: A. 2%, B. 5%, C. 10%, D. 15%. Correct answer A. 2%. The incidence of hemorrhagic stroke after thrombolysis of acute pulmonary embolism with tenecteplase was 2%, while it was only 0.2% in those given heparin alone. But there was a significant reduction in all-cause mortality or hemodynamic collapse in the tenecteplase group. Hence, tenecteplase can be considered in all with hypotension and as rescue treatment in those with evidence of right ventricular dysfunction and myocardial injury. Surgical embolectomy in pulmonary embolism is indicated in A. Impending paradoxical systemic embolism, B. Hypotension with contraindication for thrombolysis, C. Failed thrombolysis, D. All of the above. Correct answer D. All of the above. By impending paradoxical systemic embolism, it is meant that a thrombus in transit has been caught in the patent foramen ovale and is extending into both atria. True regarding inferior vena cava filter for prevention of pulmonary embolism: A. Indicated when anticoagulation is contraindicated, B. Recurrence in spite of anticoagulation, C. Increases risk of leg vein thrombosis, D. All of the above. Correct answer D. All of the above. In addition to these, a retrievable filter should be used whenever there is only a transient risk factor. Retrieval should be attempted after reversal of the predisposing risk factor. 100 points on the pulmonary embolism severity index would be classified as A. Class 1, B. Class 2, C. Class 3, D. Class 4. Correct answer C. Class 3. Class 3 has a 3.1% 30-day mortality risk and has points in the range of 86 to 105 points. Class 1 with less than 65 points has virtually no 30-day mortality risk, while Class 5 with over 125 points has 24.4% 30-day mortality risk. Parameters considered for risk stratification are age, male gender, history of cancer, history of heart failure, history of chronic lung disease, pulse rate above 110 per minute, systolic blood pressure below 100 millimeters of mercury, respiratory rate of 30 or more, body temperature below 36 degrees centigrade, altered mental status, and arterial oxyhemoglobin saturation below 90%. Parameters have different weightages with maximum of 60 for altered mental status and 30 each for history of cancer and hypotension. Tachypnea and hypothermia each have 20 points, while age gets 1 point per year, so that above 60 years, age gets the highest weightage. The rest of the parameters get 10 points each. Advantages of low molecular weight heparin over unfractionated heparin includes all of the following except A. Nearly complete absorption after subcutaneous administration, B. More predictable dose-effect relationship, C. More platelet activation, D. Lower risk of heparin-induced thrombocytopenia syndrome. Correct answer C. More platelet activation. Low molecular weight heparin produces less of platelet activation than UFH. Though the risk of heparin-induced thrombocytopenia syndrome is lower with LMWH, it cannot be substituted for UFH once HIT has occurred, as the HIT antibodies cross-react with LMWH. If anticoagulation is needed in HIT, bivalirudin can be used. Wrong statement about nitrates. A. Predominantly venodilator. B. Have coronary vasodilator effects. C. Contraindicated in vasospastic angina. D. Should be avoided in hypotensive patients. Correct answer C. Contraindicated in vasospastic angina. Nitrates are useful in vasospastic angina. Non-selective beta blockers like propranolol are avoided in vasospastic angina as they can cause alpha overactivity. Nitrates are contraindicated in those on phosphodiesterase 5 inhibitor sildenafil. Beta blockers reduce myocardial oxygen consumption by A. Reducing heart rate, B. Reducing blood pressure, C. Reducing myocardial contractility, D. All of the above. Correct answer D. All of the above. The anti-anginal effect of beta blockers are by all these mechanisms. They are most useful in angina of increased demand as in effort angina. Threshold for transfusion in anemia with acute coronary syndrome and no hemodynamic compromise. A. Less than 10 gram per deciliter, B. Less than 9 gram per deciliter, C. Less than 8 gram per deciliter, D. Less than 5 gram per deciliter. Correct answer C. Less than 8 gram per deciliter. Hemoglobin less than 8 gram per deciliter is the usual threshold for transfusion in acute coronary syndrome without hemodynamic compromise. Cause of anemia should be investigated and iron supplements can be given, but erythropoietin should be avoided because of potential thrombotic risk. Interventions with a high risk of bleeding are better avoided in those with severe anemia. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel for future updates and click on the bell icon for all updates. Thank you.